Hey everyone, Elliot here with Pugloaf, and today I'm happy to introduce you to a new device that's coming out from a brand that I particularly like. A few years ago, I was introduced to Petcube that had a device which basically allows you to control a laser and a camera to keep an eye on your pets. A few years later, they released something that shoots out treats so that you can also bribe them and get their attention and get that on camera. Only issue with that is those devices cost like $150 to $200. However, this month they are releasing the Petcube Cam. It is a very simple, easy to install, very affordable solution for you to be able to use that core product of their other previous products, a camera, and it works quite well. So before we, let's pretend I'm not holding it in front of me. We'll go ahead and unbox this thing and see what's inside. The Petcube Cam is significantly smaller than the other devices from the past. So let's take a look and see what's in the box. All right. So simple packaging, basic information that's on there. All right, I'm assuming that's the power cord. Try not to break it along the way. And there we go. All right. So it's a pretty simple package. Sorry, we're just gonna dig right into this thing. It's all neatly packaged in there. This little screen protector. Wow, this device is incredibly light. Compared to the rest of what's in here, I guess the weight of this wire is actually more than the camera itself. All right, so we have properly unboxed the Petcube Cam, and let's see what we've got. So we have the box here, we have the power cord, the wall plug-in, the camera itself, which is quite light. It looks like it uses a USB-C, a magnetic plate, and of course the quick start guide. All right, now that we have properly unboxed this thing, I wanted to just provide some general feedback and my initial impressions over using this for a week. And I have one keyword that kind of comes into play here, familiar. So as I was setting this up, and we'll go into that in just a minute, which is super easy to do, I was having basically a deja vu moment between the audio and the QR scanning. And I was just like, hey, I've done this exact process before and it sounds so similar. And that is because a few years ago, actually probably more than a few years ago, there's this thing called the Wise Cam that came out. Reviewed it, love it, it works great. The thing is only about 35 bucks, and if you actually compare them, the front and the back, don't mind the dirt on here, it's been through a lot. The device is essentially the same on the hardware side. This is a little bit improved as far as I can tell, but essentially Petcube has licensed the hardware from a product that I already love and works well, and they're bringing in their own app, which also works incredibly well. The Wise Cam's app, not so great. So that is already the massive flaw that they've fixed on behalf of another company. That being said, for $50, 1080p, and using hardware that I already know works incredibly well, this is going to be kind of a no-brainer to recommend. So we're going to just skip right ahead and say, yes, I totally recommend this. This is going to be a great solution if you want to monitor and keep an eye on your pets. That being said, let's just kind of jump into some of the features and see it in motion and see how it all works in play. Let's go ahead and see what the setup process looks like on this. Now that the device is plugged in, the light is blinking a nice amber color. That means that we need to make sure that we have the Petcube app downloaded, and it'll walk us through the next bit of the process. Setting up the Petcube Cam is quite easy. Frankly, if you've ever set up any other kind of Wi-Fi connected device, it's going to be that simple, if not even a little bit more so. You download the app, it walks you through the process once you've created an account, and it's basically just, here's a scan of the QR code, connect to the device, you're good to go. So it took maybe like 1 to 2 minutes at most. As someone who happens to live around a lot of animals, it's not always easy to keep an eye on them. This is especially true when I'm often out of the house training or I'm up in the office away from them, so you don't hear the sound of a pug snoring in the background, which you might, or a rooster crowing in the background. So without further ado, let's take a look at our test subjects for this particular review. We have the small one, the medium one, chonk, and also 12 chickens. All right, now that we are set up and good to go, Let's just run through a few of the specs that you will get out of this. So the viewing angle is about 110 degrees. It has 1080p HD. And then, of course, you get night vision. So depending on how big the room is, how well lit it is, that will say how, how much you'll be able to see. So as you can tell, it's pretty good for both the chicken coop and also my living room. It also has a cool feature within the app itself where you can chat with a vet, which, as someone with an older dog and we're in kind of strange times, it's always good to be able to have that kind of connection within the palm of your hand. Like other Petcube camera devices, it's super easy to be able to view your content. If you've upgraded to their subscription, you can actually view that content online too. Otherwise, you have to do it through their mobile app. And either you can see it or you can invite other people, and you can even make the feed public. As far as how it all works, obviously you get HD video quality, there's night vision, there's two-way audio, so you can talk or maybe terrorize your dogs because they can't quite figure out where you are and they get confused. And then there's the night vision, which goes up to about 30 feet. So again, if you have it in a bigger space, you might not see it all that well. One of the coolest things that come along with Petcube in particular are their alerts. So it works very similar to how a security system will work with their cameras. You'll have motion detection, which will trigger a notification on your phone. It'll record all the basics there. It also has audio alerts too. So if you have like a meow or a bark, it'll detect that particular sound. That does come along with the upgraded solution that includes like 3 days worth of recording. There's also like a 90-day version of that where it'll have just a lot of storage and all that good capacity too. So if you're going to be going out of town for long periods of time, that's also a good option. In addition to all of the other features, of course, you can just as easily share or download the videos that are recorded from this too. So if you're on the free version, you only get about like 4 hours worth of history. With the upgraded one, it's like 3 days or so. The next one is 90 days. But either way, you'll be able to post all the cute videos that you want to your Instagram feed or make TikTok compilations. So just to run through a couple of those specs and to actually provide some feedback on it, the wide lens, the 110 degrees, you get a lot of visibility with that. So I think it's pretty good compared to some of the other stuff out there. I think that's pretty standard to have something like that, or maybe like a fish lens, but you get a lot there. Plus, you also have an 8x digital zoom, so you can zoom in. It doesn't get too grainy as long as there's proper light in the room, so you're good there. And then again, with the night vision, I think it works really well. For my particular example in the chicken coop, I think that worked great. It's a small space. I have white boards in there, so any kind of light in there bounces off really well. In my living room, it also worked pretty well too, and it's a pretty big space, so honestly, no complaints. And then with the audio, I think that works well as well. Not so much the little speaker that you can actually speak to your critters, but being able to hear everything in the room and monitor everything comes loud and clear through that too. But that's what you can expect from a very tiny speaker in a very tiny camera.
All right, so let me just do a quick recap on that again. It's got pretty decent night vision. The audio works great coming in, not so much coming out. The little speaker in there has a little bit to be desired on. The camera itself works well, super easy to set up, and of course the $50 or so price point is really hard to beat. Obviously there are security and monitoring devices which are around the same price point, or even Cam is a little bit more affordable, but you're not getting the support and the solutions that come along with the Petcube app and their suite of products too. So that being said, again, I definitely recommend it. So if you're looking for an affordable solution to keep an eye on your critters, this is definitely going to be the way to do it.